And that year, she was the Rookie of the Year running that one herself. So you learn enough about the franchise, we're going to figure out pretty quick whether or not this is for you. And some people say, that's my skill set right there. That's what I'm good at. That's what I enjoy doing. I can take on that.
Because I forgot to mention, which in my notes I wanted to mention, is I could start with you, start a franchise, sell it in 3 to 5 years, make whatever I make, and come right back to you and do something different and do that multiple times. That's possible, right?
It happens usually every 1 or 2 years. They either sell it and get another one, or they just keep the one they have, let it run on its own on autopilot, and then just add one to it.
So they can sell it.
Business with a servant's heart. Welcome to the podcast. Steve Ramona. Business with a servant's heart. Listen to the podcast. Steve Ramona. We're all about to talk on life. Our guest will share his life story. We want you to success in life. We're ready and we will start shortly. We're gonna talk on life. We're gonna talk on business. You're gonna shine bright. We are gonna witness.
Shout out to my sponsors, A Mind for All Seasons. Your brain is your greatest competitive edge, so why not optimize it? Just text optimize to 72000, 72000 for instant access to 6 quick videos that help you think faster, remember more, and stay focused longer. A big thanks to Epic App, the 4-step storytelling system I use every day to connect and to convert. Try it free. Email me at stever1961@gmail.com. That's stever1961@gmail.com, and I'll get you the free app. Doing Business with a Servant's Heart was just named top 6 in small business marketing. Thank you, everybody, for listening and watching. Welcome, everyone, to Doing Business with a Servant's Heart podcast. I'm your host, Steve Ramona. So happy to have you join us. As I'm doing this year, we're going to start this right now, just before Christmas, December 23rd. Didn't know the date. I've started a new thing for my podcast because I want to give you guys more. So I'm going to give you a gratitude before we launch. And our gratitude today is there's only one of you, and you are the most important. So keep that in mind when you're going about your day, your week, your year. You are the most important. With that being said, we're going to talk about something I'm starting to learn to love a lot, is franchising and how franchise can serve you with the right people in front of you. Like anything in life, if you don't have the right people, franchising, your dentist, your mechanic, they could take you down the wrong path. Probably listening, you're probably thinking of stories right now that's happened to you. But we're going to talk about how we can serve you and use a servant's heart to do that. Let's welcome our guest, Greg. Welcome to the show.
Steve, thank you for having me today. It's an honor.
You have a phrase I read through your stuff, real freedom. What does that stand for?
Being able to do what you want, when you want, and having the money to do it.
That's it. Simple as that.
Simple as that. Yep.
And that's not freedom. I can leave my house any day. That's not freedom. I can go to sleep at any time. We live in a free world. You're talking on the financial side?
Financial and time side. Two of the things that my people want the most of, and amazingly enough, time is usually up on top, and the money freedom, financial freedom is the second rung on there. They want the time freedom to be able to do what they want, whether it be with their kids, with their wives, with their families. Just go out and spend more time with them, and still having the money to do it, and not being stuck 9 to 5, 9 to 7, Monday through Friday, every day in a job.
Well, if people weren't paying attention now, they sure are. After you said that, because that's a game changer. So let's jump into it. We talked about before the show in the green room, franchising is such a misnomer. How can a franchisee be a servant's heart?
Oh, you need to look at what you can do for other people. You're solving other people's problems when it comes down to it. Any business you get into and anything that you're looking at, you're really solving somebody else's problem. Somebody's got something that needs done. With franchising, even if you're doing something like, the HVAC, heating and air conditioning, or electrical or plumbing, somebody's got a problem and you're their superhero. Senior care is a great one if you really want to get into it, being a servant's heart. Taking care of mom and dad so they can stay at home a little while longer, so they don't have to go to an assisted living facility. You're doing so much for so many people. The kids of the senior that you're helping out is generally who you meet with. They want to turn mom and dad over to you. They want to turn the mom and dad over to somebody they believe in and somebody that has a servant's heart because you're taking care of their prized family member. That great business to get into, great feel-good business if you're looking to be a servant.
You mentioned before the show too, we talked. We're not talking McDonald's, Burger King, Chick-fil-A, high-end franchises. And if you want to do it, they can do that. But learning from you when I first met you and got me excited about franchising, I mean, it could be as low as 50,000 or less to get into a franchise, correct?
Generally speaking, they're going to start at around 50,000. There's a few of them that you get in for less than that, but the lower the number you go, the more people get into it. So you've got a lot more competition. I would say some of the better ones, you're generally starting out at around a $50,000 franchise fee, give or take. And then from there, the total investment just depends on exactly what it is that you're doing. So if you're doing something like you mentioned, working from home, or you go out and visit with your clients, not a lot of overhead after the initial franchise fee. So 50,000 plus marketing and advertising on there, you get into some really many different great franchises out there for that amount.
And I love what we were talking too, that you help fund these franchises. If it's a fit, these companies have ability to give you a loan to be able to do that. You don't have to have 50,000 or 100,000 up front. You get taken care of a little bit, right? That's
correct. So we're going to look at two different aspects of that. So the service industry, what you're looking at there is an SBA Express loan. So for that one, what you'll need is about $20,000 down. The SBA Express loan then pops into your bank account $150,000, $200,000, right in that range. Assuming you've got good credit, 700 or better is perfect. You might be able to go a little bit lower than that. That one's the easiest one to get into, the lowest amount to get into. Once you're looking at those things, like McDonald's, things like that, those brick and mortar type franchises, that's when you get into a little bit higher of an amount there. So now they're going to be looking, the SBA is going to be looking for 10 or 20% down on something like that, and you'll probably get into a 7A loan. So that could be substantial because 500,000 plus total investment, you're going to be dropping 100,000 or more into that. But for a service industry franchise, great business, great way to do it with a servant's heart. $20,000, good credit, that'll get you in there and get you going.
What I love about you, when I first met you, and is why I invited you to the podcast, is you're that conduit. You're the servant heart to the potential franchisee. I come to you and go, hey, I'm looking for a franchise. Walk us through the journey, how you use your servant's heart to help people.
Well, first of all, we look at, Steve, what are you getting into franchise? Why are you looking into it in the first place? What are you trying to accomplish? What do you want to get out? I want to make certain that you've got some pretty realistic views of what you're going to get out of that franchise. If you're thinking you're going to be a millionaire in a year or two, that's just probably not. It's going to take some work. And if you're thinking that it's going to be a passive investment completely, it's not going to happen either. You're going to be putting in at least 10 to 15 hours a week into something, a business. It is a business. It does take a little bit of work and requires money and requires time. So I really want to take a look at what it is you're trying to accomplish, why you're getting into it. And then I go through and I educate you. I'm not about trying to push you into a franchise or sell you a franchise. I'm more looking at, okay, so where have you been? What do you bring to the table? What's your skill set? Where are you at now? How much money can you invest comfortably? Time-wise, what can you invest? And where do you want to be? And we're going to make certain that you have the information that you need to make an informed decision of, first of all, is franchising right for you at this point in time or not? And then if it is, well, which franchise it is? And I want to make certain that you are well prepared and you know what you're getting yourself into. I probably scare away 3 out of 4 people that I put in front of a franchisor just because I want to make certain, you know what you're getting into. And I'm going to put you in front of franchise attorneys. I'm going to put you in front of CPAs, and I'm going to put you in front of at least 10 different franchisees from each franchise system. So you really get a good feel for what it is you're getting into.
And that's the servant's heart, where you tell people no. Even though I go, no, I want the senior helpers. I just want to just give it to me. You'll go, because you're going to save me a crap load of money, basically. Right. And I want people to understand that, audience, understand that he's here to help you like your mechanic. Mechanic's here to fix your car. I'm not going to put an engine in my car. I have no idea how to do that. I have no idea by a franchise. And I do know a lot of people I've had reach out, wish I knew you back then, that go, I'm going to start a franchise. Who should I talk to? I'm like, I don't know. And they just Google. It's not something you want to Google. You want to hire Greg to do that. Who should not be in franchising?
Oh, Steve, the people that should not be in franchising are ones that don't want to be mentored and don't want to follow systems and processes. They've got their own ideas. It's interesting that when I talk to various people, my younger entrepreneurs that are just starting out, a lot of those are probably not going to be the best franchisees because they've got their own ideas of how things should be run. So if you've got the idea that you're going to go into a franchise system, check it out and start making changes right away on it, that's not for you. Their franchisors are looking for people who are going to follow that system to begin with. Maybe later, as you've gotten to know the franchise system, then you help them make changes for the better, working with other franchisees. But the people that don't make good ones are ones that don't want to be mentored, don't want to follow systems and processes. And it's interesting. My older entrepreneurs, ones that have built up, 4 or 5 businesses and sold them, they come to me every once in a while, and they're like, I want to get into a franchise. I'm like, well, you bought and sold, 5 different businesses. You don't need me. Go out there and do it yourself. I mean, you're fine. And they're like, no, I've done it before. I know how much how much work it takes. I don't want to do that again. I just want to step into a business and follow the systems and processes and take off running.
So they got to be a good teammate. I'm going to use a sports analogy. Steve Ramona has a company, it's a franchise, and you're going to teach me, hey, here's how, you're my coach. You're going to teach me how to be a good franchise. We'll use senior helpers. Shout out to senior helpers. You help seniors. And this is the power of this. So I'm going to step back. Marcus Lemonis has a TV show helping businesses, and he's worked with franchises. It's a big franchise component. He's got Camping World, which is a big franchise, but he talks about people, process, and product. You get those 3 nailed and you're good. But franchise, and he says on the show, franchise already done it because he works with franchisees. It's already there. Why are you moving away from all the information they're giving you? Talk about that, how important is what they've built, and you need to follow that as a teammate.
Well, the reason you get into a franchise in the first place, Steve, is because you want to start from somebody else's year 2 or year 3 instead of your year 1 on that. You want to get in there where somebody has already made the mistakes that you will make if you start out on your own and try and get it, because you've got to figure out, if you're going to start out on your own, you've got to figure out what marketing works, where to find the best employees, what kind of advertising works, what kind of systems are going to work for your business. Somebody else has already done that with a franchise system. So you're starting out, and that's what you want. You want that franchise to get you there 2 to 3 years quicker than if you were to do it yourself. And then when you get into a franchise, you want to start utilizing what they've told you. I had somebody that was a vice president in the gaming industry over in Las Vegas, and she got into a tutoring franchise, and she said, well, you folks, you've never hit up the hotels and motels, around here in this area, or done that in your system. So that's not part of our process. I mean, this is what we've seen works. This is what will work. They said, but if you want to go out there and give it a try, more power to you. Do it. She tried it. It didn't work. So she said, okay, I'll go back and I'll go do what you told me to do. And then she took off. So they've got the processes, they've got the systems, they've got everything set up. That's why you get into it. Follow that. Your chances of success are that much greater.
It's powerful. Don't recreate the wheel. They've already built the wheel. Yeah. Just step on that wheel and run with it. I thank you for that story, because I was going to ask you that. Give me a story where somebody went outside the guidelines of a franchise, and there you go. And that's, thank God sounds like she was pretty wealthy, wealthy enough that it didn't hurt her. Where I see people coming in that, not struggling, but made a little bit of money and go, I want to start a franchise, and they fail and they've lost everything. And talk about that, because that's a fear I hear from other people. I'd never touch franchising. I'm worried. I'm scared of failing.
Skills mismatch is probably the biggest part of the failure of a franchise. When you need to look at what skill is needed for that particular franchise, and you got to make certain you have that skill for that main. So if you're going to be the one doing the work or doing the business or whatever it is, you got to make certain that you have that skill. Well, that's number one. The second thing, you have to make certain that you enjoy doing that skill. So if you're out doing, let's say the franchise is a Sandler sales training franchise, you better have had some background in sales training on that. And don't just think, well, it's sales, I can learn. I'll learn how to do it. Probably not. I mean, if you haven't done it yet, and it's not something that you are thinking that I'm going to thoroughly enjoy this, it's not going to be like I'm getting up and going to work, because I enjoy it and I'm having fun. So skills mismatch, always know what it is. The other thing is you could hire that out if you're not doing it. So then your skill set, always be looking at your skill set. If your skill set is managing people, hiring a manager, working with teams, then you don't necessarily need to have the skills that requires to run that franchise itself on a day-to-day basis. You hire somebody to do it for you. Your expertise, your genius is hiring people and getting people to work together. The other thing is capitalization. Always make certain that you know what it is, the total investment of that franchise. That'll be the other thing. And most of the, if not all, actually all the franchises I work with, they are going to make certain that you're not going to run out of money. So they are going to have a net worth requirement. They're going to take a look at that, and they're going to be asking you about that. And the reason they need that is they want to make certain that you don't run out of money, because that'd be the worst thing that could happen is you run out of money, and then franchise goes belly up, and then the franchisor has to report that in the franchise disclosure document. You see that as a failure. It's not good for anybody, especially for you with your money that you've invested and now it's not working. So know that the only way to really get a good view of that is to talk to as many franchisees as possible when you're doing your due diligence process and looking into that franchise, is talk to 10, 15, 20 different franchisees and get a good feel for what that total investment is. So skills, make certain that you got the skill that's required of that franchise and you enjoy doing whatever it is that, and then make certain that you're capitalized as well capitalized to get through that.
Yeah, that skill set even in this match is I can understand it. That's a problem with entrepreneurs. And nothing, I'm not saying entrepreneurs out there, but we think a passion is going to start a business. And it has, Facebook was a passion, Lyft or Uber was a passion, and on and on and on. Apple was a passion, but those are 5% or less of making it. And that's the same with a franchise, because you really are running a business. So you need to understand business a little bit too, just overall general, right?
Definitely a big help, because most franchises want you to work on the business and not in the business itself. So they're going to want a good business person. There's some that you get started out where they'll do a whole lot of teaching and training for you. Start out with a little bit smaller one. Well, they'll help you, but in general, yeah, they are looking for good business people, good business minds.
Yeah. And the governor that you just talked about with the franchisor's got a lot in play here, which you need to realize that. So they're going to try to help you as much as they can, right? Like you said. So that's nice. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah. Because what you're looking at there is that would be under item number 20 in the franchise disclosure documents, where they have a list of franchisees that are currently running the business and a list of them that started it or are no longer running it. Pretty easy math to figure out the success rate. We want to see 85, 90% or better on that. So if that franchise has got too many people that are leaving the system for whatever reason, it doesn't look good for them. And then I don't show them. Nobody shows them.
Yeah. I think of that franchise, it's that chicken one that just came out that's everywhere now. It doesn't matter, but it was just, this guy now is a multi-billionaire with this. He just started a chicken restaurant, and now he's got like 100,000 or 10,000 franchises over the world within 3 years. It's massive. That's the success of it. But that's a guy that launched his own. What you come in is nobody out there. You don't want to launch your franchise unless you're capitalized in that type of thing. Let's go to corporate. I'm at Apple. I work 8 to 5. I don't want to work at, nothing wrong with Apple, but I want to leave my 8 to 5. I guess capitalization, can they do that? Because this is a grind. This is not, 8 to 5 is different than owning a franchise, right?
Correct.
What do I got to look at? It's a lot of people that listen to this, they're 8 to 5ers. They're thinking of moving on to getting on their own, an entrepreneur.
Well, absolutely. So take a look at what are you doing now? Are you management or above? Are you already running a business within a business? If you are, then you already know how to run a business. If you don't want your 8 to 5 anymore, then go for one that you can run semi-absentee, semi-passive manager run. You're already doing that in your business. Now, as long as you don't mind putting in another 10 to 15 hours a week, building up a business to the point where you can step away from yours, if that's the route you want to take, then you've already had the skill set to do it. If you want to step away right now from your job and do that, then yes, because you've got the skill set already that you're doing. And there's many businesses where you can start out with very few employees or just yourself, many franchises as well. So if you're not looking necessarily to take a big leap and take on a team of people right away, and you want to start a little bit smaller, then start with the franchises where you can do one and you're doing most of the work to begin with, and one that can be built up over time where you can start bringing people in and eventually you step away from it, get the systems and processes in place so that other people can run it. And now you've got control of your time, all about the systems and processes.
Yeah. And that's the Marcus Lemonis, the process. It's so huge, which that piece is taken care of with the franchise. Me starting my own business, I've got to figure that out, plus the people and the product. And it's okay to do that. As many entrepreneurs are very successful, but you take that one component out, which is probably the most important component, is the systems, to be able to do that. Territories, should somebody look at franchises closer to them? I guess it matters on the franchise. Is that important at all?
Very important. That's one of the reasons why a business goes into franchising and then expands through franchising, is they are looking for local owner operators. That's what they want, because now you're the local name and face. The people in the area already know you. Most franchises will want you to be in that general area within a 30 to 60 mile radius of your franchise system. Once you've proven yourself out, you can grow beyond that. But that's the whole purpose of the franchise system itself, is so that you have a local owner operator in the area that people know. So you're going to stay within that area.
Okay, that's great. So I'm in San Diego, and I start a franchise. But once I prove myself, I can start delving into LA, Santa Barbara, as I've proved myself. So they don't put any blockages for me, because I want to come in with you, Greg, and go, I want to build 10 franchises.
Right.
That's my goal. Of course, that may not happen. How do you handle that?
Yes. So you do one. And I encourage most, or actually everyone, I encourage everyone, start with one one unit, one territory, and make certain that you've got the whole system down. That one works. Once you do that, you've done a couple of things. One, you've got the whole process and system down. So now it's easier to scale. If you get one, if you can run one, well, you can do two. If you can do two, you can do 10 on that. And you've proven to the franchisor that you're capable of doing that. So now you pick up, generally speaking, most people that I've worked with will actually just pick up more territories, usually if they can, adjacent to what they're already doing. They'll expand out from there.
Yeah.
Because it is a little bit more of a challenge if you're down in San Diego and you want to open one up in LA. It's a little bit more of a challenge being that far away, and the franchisors see that, so they prefer that you do it close. But if you've already shown then that you've opened up another one, and now you're capable of scaling into a multiples, and yes, they will, and it's going to vary by the franchise and what type of franchise that you get into. We see the restaurant franchises all the time, people buying multiple territories in different states. And as long as you've proven to the franchisor that you're capable of handling that and can do it, then absolutely. Some of them, I wouldn't say most of them, some of them will allow you to do that.
And we're coming to the end here. This has been so enlightening for me. Audience, hope it is too. We'll get his contact information, because you need to reach out to him. It's free to do that. He's told me that. He'll see if you're a fit. He's already said 3 out of 4 aren't. But if you're just thinking about it, I suggest you reach out to him, because I've learned so much today and the first time we've met. So let's end with this. Give us a great story of somebody that you've worked with that's really been successful with franchising.
So we have the gentleman that built up the senior care franchise. That one was required that he be full-time in that one, but after 2 years, he was no longer full-time because it started running itself. And he got bored and wanted to get another one. So that was the senior care one. He did wonderful. And then the my guy that did the kitchen remodeling, he built that up after 3 years. He built and then we sold that one for him, got him into another one. It was funny. I had a couple that were into real estate investing, and they wanted to get into a Mr. Sparky Electrical Services franchise with Authority Brands. They wanted to get into that part-time, and the husband was looking into it to do a part-time. The wife, she ran the rental units. So we started looking into that, went through the process, learned about the franchise, and at the very end, the wife stood up and said, "We're not running this semi-absentee. I can run that one myself. I'll take that. I'll take that on." And that year, she was the rookie of the year running that one herself. So you learn enough about the franchise, we're going to figure out pretty quick whether or not this is for you. And some people say, that's my skill set right there. That's what I'm good at. That's what I enjoy doing. I can take on that.
I'm glad you brought skill set back up. You opened a can of worms, because that was a great story, because I forgot to mention, which in my notes I wanted to mention, is I could start with you, start a franchise, sell it in 3 to 5 years, make whatever I make, and come right back to you and do something different and do that multiple times. That's possible, right?
Absolutely. Yep. It happens usually every 1 or 2 years. They either sell it and get another one, or they just keep the one they have, let it run on its own on autopilot, and then just add one to it.
So they can sell it, 90% sell it, keep 10%, let the 90% owner run it. You get a little 10% every of the business. Oh, you're a genius. Audience, this is a guy you need to talk to. We're gonna make sure you reach out to him. Let's end with a great question I always like to ask my guests. So I've reserved a table at a restaurant me and you are going to go eat at your favorite restaurant. I want you to invite 3 people that have been influential in your life, whether dead or alive. And what kind of food are we going to eat at that table with these 3 people?
So let's see, Robert Kiyosaki, he ruined my corporate career for me in a good way. He got me out of that. Zig Ziglar, he taught me to sell with a servant's heart. Sales is something you do with somebody and not to somebody. And then Steve Ramona, because he taught me how to be a good networker with a servant's heart. And we are going to have buffalo chicken wings because that is my favorite weekend breakfast.
Ranch, cheese, or blue cheese dip?
It has to be ranch.
Okay. I knew you'd know. Pretty awesome. Well, Greg, thank you for being a great guest. I've learned so much. Obviously, you've learned so much. I know they want to reach out and connect with you. How can they do that?
You go to my website. It's franchisemaven.com. That's franchise, M-A-V as in Victor, E-N.com. Email me at greg@franchisemaven.com, or just pick up the phone and give me a call at 361-772-6401. I don't have an answering service. I answer all my calls. If I don't answer, leave a message. I will get back to you.
Servant's heart. We began with the servant's heart. We just ended with the servant's heart. He gave out his phone number for you guys to call. And okay, Greg, you inspired me. I'm going to do something. It is Christmas time, but I won't do this even when it's not Christmas. Is audience, the first 3 people that either email or call Greg, doesn't matter, either one, you mention this podcast, I will send you a free book. So you 3 jump on this. The first 3 people, make sure you mention the podcast, and Greg will give my information, my email, or I'll get the information. He'll send it to me either way, and I will send you a book. It's one of my favorite books that's going to make me lots of money this year. It's the #1 success book I've found. So with that being said, I want to thank Greg, and I want to remind people to subscribe to podcasts. Could be mine, could be anyone else's. Here's why. We're in Christmas time. You're going to Christmas parties and you're going to New Year's parties. And you're going to talk to people who are like, I'm stuck at this job. I'm struggling. I got all this money. I don't know what to do with. These type of conversations happen all the time. I hear them. Well, you send them this link and go, you need to listen to Greg. He might have a great opportunity for you. And they call or email him and he sets them up with a franchise. Did you impact their life? I want you to answer that question. I think you know the answer. With that being said, me and Greg want to thank everybody for watching or listening to this podcast. And we'll see everybody on the next episode of Doing Business with a Servant's Heart. Have a great day, everyone.